Investors and traders, welcome to the channel. Market chart present today is 9th of April 2025. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. We'll take a key look at the key technology stocks that we like to follow on the channel. As always, the videos for educational purposes only. It's not a financial advice. So let's start by taking a look at the stock of Meta. This is the daily chart. So here what we are looking at is basically a ABCD formation. We had the 78.6% retracement come in, a 38.2% retracement of the lows of, let me go back and check. I believe these are the lows going back to 2022, October 2022. And we have seen a fantastic move take place today. It's went right into this 200-day moving average, 20-day period moving average. Let's see what sort of retracement we get from the all-time highs to the lows it had made. Looks to be about 38.2% retracement, or there we go. So with this kind of a move, it's a very strong move. The market was up 14.76% today, 75 bucks. I don't think I've seen a stronger move in this stock in quite a while, actually. So that's incredible. So getting above this 580, 585 level on closing basis, I think it puts the stock into a pretty good space. And then I think as long as this low is held, 4th of April, we could see higher prices, and possibility is even it can make an attempt to make new all-time highs. That's also possible. So a very nice ABCD pattern formation. 4th of April low is the key, right at this resistance level of 38.2%. Now if it's able to clear it on closing basis, good closing basis, I think it's got a fantastic chance to move higher. Let's also take a look at this on the weekly chart. Here we have the ABCD completed around 690 level right here, and this was our long-term ABCD pattern formation, our target. It was met, and after that for a couple of weeks it went a little bit higher, and then the stock has had a pretty strong pullback, and it actually pulled back about nearly 35%, which is really shows the power of these patterns, because these patterns are so powerful, the ABCD, that when they complete we need to pay attention to, and this was a big one which completed. So glad that it was our target, it was met, and then we saw this big pullback happen right at the 89 period moving average as well, and 38.2% retracement going to the lows of October of 2022 to the recent highs. This is where it found pretty good support from. Okay, so let's now take a look at Microsoft. So the Microsoft stock is a very interesting. Let me actually show it to you on the weekly chart. Here we go. And one of the things that for on the channel for a long time that I've been talking about is that the Microsoft stock had completed this big ABCD, the one in black, um, going back all the way to 2022, and after that we saw the market move a little bit higher, but then went into sideways, basically essentially a distribution pattern. Now I've got so many of these patterns for illustration purposes. I'm going to delete some of them so that things are a little bit clear. And then what we were also watching for was this the stock to make an ABCD formation right into 370, with the possibility of around 340 to be reached. And there were a couple of reasons for that. Number one reason was that the market symmetry concept, because our view was this market is actually in distribution, and it could retrace pretty much the entire move of the 2022 bear market. And this is what the stock has done pretty much. Not exactly reached the lows, but it came pretty close to it. And the other reason was that there was a possibility we could see an ABCD retracement right into this 412 level, which is 38.2% retracement. That did not happen, but I had drawn this possibility of this green ABCD taking us into this region, and that actually happened. So I'm going to remove this question mark, because it has kind of achieved the level that we were watching for. And then if the week closes up and higher, then we could look at here we go. So just like Meta, the stock also closed right at the 38.2% retracement. Needs to get above this on the daily chart in particular. Here we go. Um, this is 38.2% retracement. Here we go from these highs. There we go. It needs to close above this, and then it can rally more. Maybe even a new all-time highs. We'll have to wait and see. But it really completed this. It found with the region it went into is pretty good support. Now let's take a look at the stock of Apple. So Apple has been one of those stocks which has actually come under a fair deal of pressure because of the whole tariff situation, because the supply chain, a significant part of it is still in China. And what we have seen in Apple is actually look at this trend line in red, which goes and connects the lows of January 2023 to the lows of what we saw in April 2024. And the stock actually broke below that, but it hasn't closed below it. So that is one significant observation. But it did close on daily basis below this line. So that needs to be kept in check. And then the market went right into this this 200-day weekly, 200-week moving average. Week is not closed yet, but you can see Apple has had a pretty strong move to the downside, about 35%. Now, if you go back and take a look in 2022, this entire move, the corrective move in Apple, that was about 30%. So this one is actually a little bit larger than that. Now, where this big ABCD, or just like in Microsoft, Apple also completed this big ABCD. This is one thing which I had not drawn before. I should have, so I think one part I was missing. And we have seen a pretty nice, well, I should have said nice, but we have seen a pretty significant move to the downside. Now, what I'm going to do is let's draw a retracement. So we'll go back to this entire move from 2022, and then we bring it to here. This is the recent highs, and you can see that it's above the 38.2% retracement. That is good part. Then if we go back to the January 2023 low, and then to the recent high, let's see, we have to bring this retracement. We have the 61.8% retracement of these two key lows. So this is where we had pretty good support coming in around 175, 180 to 175 level, and we have seen the market bounce off it. Now, if we just move one notch lower to the daily chart, here's something I would like to show to you. So actually the market has come, so on the weekly chart we have seen those key retracements, but on the daily chart I also want to show you these pattern formation. So this is the orange one showing the CD leg, which is 1.272 times. So I was expecting, anywhere between 170 to 156 possibly, but 156 was a little bit lower, where we could see some good bounce come in, and this is what we are looking at, a pretty strong move in Apple, up about 15%. That is a very, very strong move. So a lot of these markets, these key stocks, they have found support from key pattern formations that they were forming, and now they're having a really nice moves higher, or bounce as I'm calling them right now, but they could be more than that. We'll have to wait and see. So I think it can easily get to about 203 level, which is going to be the 38.2% retracement of this entire move lower. So again, between 185 to 175 was a key support level because of the confluence of the pattern formation and also the Fibonacci retracements. Okay, now let's take a look at NVIDIA. Here we go. So NVIDIA stock, you can see, let me actually go back to the weekly chart. This is where we're actually following it. On the weekly chart, we can see that it has had a pretty big pullback. It broke this trend line as well. And then, this week has been rather exceptional, but the week is not complete yet. So I'm going to be a little bit careful of this stock in NVIDIA, and especially semiconductors in general. Because these have been one segment of the market which were hit pretty hard as well. So what we are looking at in terms of the pattern formation is right here. We can see that we have this ABCD blue, which was not fully completed, but the stock came pretty close to it, about in $2, about $2. Missed it by about $2, and then we also have this blue shaded region, which is the three drives to a bottom pattern as well. So I think what we are looking at is a pretty nice rally, which is right to the 38.2% retracement. It needs to close above this for it to rally a little bit higher, but I think NVIDIA is one of those stocks I will be a little bit careful as this rally or a bounce is taking place. Okay, so now let's take a look at Amazon. Here we go. So Amazon has had a nice bounce as well. 11.9%, almost 12%. It is up. And here, one of the things is that on the daily chart, you can see it clearly broke below these channel formations. So these stocks have had a fair amount of technical damage done to them. And then if we just take a look at this, look, it's right at the 38.2% retracement. So it's not just a coincidence. This is how these numbers move, especially when the markets are trending markets, strongly trending markets. There's a lot of volatility. Then these Fibonacci numbers, they begin to get hit left, right, center. I mean, it's not easy to imagine that the stock would rally. Let me show you how much it has rallied from the bottom. About 20%. So when bottom was being hit around here, it was difficult to imagine it would actually retrace 38.2% of its entire move. So we have seen it has done that. But again, this is something that needs to clear. On the weekly chart, here we go. We can see that this was a trend line. It broke below that on closing basis, in fact, then there's a reverse that. So a lot of volatility which exists. And the other thing is that this move came in. This whole move has been about 33.43%. So some of these stocks have been down 25-30%. But this big move also came after completing this big ABCD. Now I'm gonna move a little bit away from the technology stocks. Just want to show you we are also completing some really key patterns in some of the financial stocks. So let me show that to you in JP Morgan. Here we go. So JP Morgan, let me actually move down to the daily chart. Here we go. It is also completing this big beautiful ABCD formation. It missed the exact bottom of a D point by about $2 by the looks of it. So but you can see it came pretty close to that. And now it is also bouncing. I guess the bounce is maybe up to, yeah, there you go, a little above 38.2% retracement. So that's interesting. And then if we take a look at the Goldman Sachs, it did a perfect ABCD. You can see that right here, ABCD, perfect. And the stock has actually bounced almost up about 11.2%. So huge rally. And then it's just, I think it's quite easily at least get to this level or maybe even beyond that. So the momentum needs to improve because of the 20-day moving average prices below that, but fantastic price action, and these are completing their big pattern formations. So that is pretty interesting. And if we just take a look at this on the weekly chart, you can see it was down about 35%, and then it's also finding support from the 61.8% retracement of this entire leg higher. So ABCD plus 61.8%. Retracement level, we have a very strong pattern formation. This level 435 is very strong support for this Goldman Sachs stock. So I wouldn't be surprised if it retraces 50 to 61.8% of this entire move, and if the strength continues, maybe go higher. And on the JP Morgan, here you go. What we are looking at is, look, this is the ABCD. Let me draw the retracement of this entire CD leg, and there you go. So it went slightly below the 38.2% retracement level, and let's see how much it is, how much it corrected by, how much it pulled back. So roughly 27, roughly 28%, and Goldman was a little bit more. So these stocks, including some of these key financial stocks that we like to follow, they're making a really important key patterns, especially the Goldman Sachs with 61.8% retracement. Fantastic. So it looks like what we are seeing kind of a on the 7th of April, and then if we just go back to SPX, this bottom of 7th of April, as long as it is held, I think we are going to have a nice bounce. And then, as in the other video, I discussed the three scenarios that we are watching. We'll see which one will play out. But the market was quite strong. It could be a short covering rally, a relief rally, a bounce, or there's a chance that it could be a little bit more than that as well. But we are following our kind of a roadmap, which we had discussed in the previous video. So I encourage you to watch that video as well. I'll put a link to it in the caption. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you again. And if you